We got action, boss. If you are just joining us as the segment ended, Tyler's kicking himself. He's not here. Chris Santiago hit the breaking news sounder, and the news was the Texans made a move. They made a trade. They have a new addition to the team, and it is at the wide receiver position. It is Christian Kirk. And they are sending a 2026 to Jacksonville for Christian Kirk. The Texans will take on Christian Kirk's existing contract, which is set to pay him $16.5 million in 2025, the final year of his deal. So right now, it is a 1-year, $16.5 million deal for Christian Kirk. And Christian Kirk, last year, the last 2 years, had some injury issues. His season ended last year when he broke his collarbone, and he played 8 games, broke his collarbone, missed the rest of that season. 2 years ago, he tore a groin. But even that year, he was almost 14 yards a catch, primarily working in the slot, almost 800 yards. The previous year before that, he had 84 catches, over 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. His first year with Jacksonville. I see a lot of people texting in, and you can on the Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer text line, 713-572-4610. All you also on YouTube and Twitch. I see you all, Cam, Kick Rocks, DQ, Cornbread. Go ahead and you get your thoughts in. What's your thoughts about it? Straight up. The Texans have Christian Kirk. He is now a part of this receiving core. Your thoughts on it?
I like it. I've always been a fan of Christian Kirk. I like the as I've said multiple times with the Texans in the past, of like all the receivers do everything. I prefer receivers to be niche receivers, if you will, or have an identity as a receiver, if you will. I think it's very, very easy to see and say that when you look at Christian Kirk, he is an inside receiver, period, point blank. This is not a guy that's going to be on the outside running the route tree. This is a guy that's going to be on the inside, matched up with nickel defenders, that has the twitch, the explosive, the change of direction that you need in order to create a little bit of separation for the quarterback immediately. One of those guys that can run the now routes. Like either way you go right now, he's open, boom. If I'm getting heated up, he can give me give me an option in the pass game. We've seen him personally here when the nickel defender isn't necessarily a cover guy. Hell, he ended the career of a Texans nickel defender here a couple years back. And so, look, I like Christian Kirk, man. I've always liked him. I liked him when he was at Texas A&M. Unfortunately, he hadn't been able to stay healthy of late, so the numbers don't necessarily show you what you would like to see. But beside the injuries, man, I really like Christian Kirk. I like him here with the Texans, and I think it gives me a little. This is a different conversation, obviously, but gives you a little peek behind the curtain of what potentially Nick Caley's offense is going to look like versus what we've watched here for the last 2 years. Bobby Slowik.
He comes into kind of that Diggs role from last year, and to me, you got younger. I think you got cheaper, and I think he's at least on the same level of Stefon Diggs, the players right now.
Yeah.
On what you're asking to do. I think that he's at least on the same level, and potentially as a off of a collarbone issue, as opposed to somebody 31 coming off an ACL who may not be ready at the start of the season. I think you potentially have at the very least got the same level of player to me that you got from Diggs. And I'm seeing some people chime in on this thing. I'm with you. If he is healthy, I don't like the move. I love it. I love the fit. I love the combination of it. Like, to me, the Texans don't need, now somebody developed in it. The Texans don't need a one. They have a one, and they have somebody that works well. And I think this may just say, hey, we want somebody that runs inside routes. Or Clint, as you've kind of alluded to, this may also shed a light on maybe what kind of offense they want to run, right? And that Brady style of offense in New England had a player that fit this mold. You can think of him in your mind at a player that fit this mold. I think he and Nico fit. Now I think they still have to address another receiver. This does not at all take receiver off the board to me in the draft. In fact, I would even still push that they really take a look at 25, taking another receiver there. Like that to me would make a lot of sense to go. We've got Nico. We sign a veteran that can play on the inside, and then we go get another one. I love the move if he's healthy. Love the move of Christian Kirk coming here. That makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of sense. CJ, him, love it. Yep. Love the move. Love the move. I see some of y'all on the text line do not.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. Let's
text in. Y'all are gushing.
No. Here's
Kirk signing underwhelming. Typical Texans.
No. Here's the deal with the Texans, man. Now, talk about the deal, right? What does it tell you about Nick Caley's offense, and what does it tell you, or in your opinion, for what it's worth, what do the Texans need to do next? Right? That's all this is, right? You're talking about very little risk with Christian Kirk. Yes, there's a $16 million salary on there, but there's zero dead cap on this contract. Assuming this contract transfers, and it's exactly what they get. He was fixing to get cut by Jacksonville, and all the Texans did was throw a 7th-round pick out there to make sure that they get their hands on Christian Kirk and not let him hit the free market, right? So good move for the Texans. This doesn't mean that this is the receiver that they're going to sign and they're done with it, and this is what they're going to roll with the rest of the year, or come training camp time. This is just a move that presented itself, and there's a clear need with the Houston Texans, and this is a very, very, very good ad. It's a safe ad. This is a very safe ad with a player that will be worth every bit of $16 million. The only complaint right now, if this is the best receiver that you go get, then I'm going to have problems with it. Like, if this is the only receiver that you go get, then, yeah, there's going to be, we're going to have a different conversation. But right now, the Texans are wide receiver needy in a big way. They need experience in a big way. They need, as they've talked, I think there's going to be the change that you're going to see offensively is each receiver's going to have more of an identity this year instead of being so versatile. They needed an inside receiver, and this presented itself, and they gave up a 7th-round pick to go get it. This is a really good move by the Houston Texans. I love it.
Yeah, and you said safe. You said this is not a move to me that needed to be like a huge splash. I think they needed receiver help, but I don't think they needed splash help. There's some other.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
You think they need a number 1 level receiver?
No, they need a true, legit, no doubt number 2 receiver though. Like legit, like a guy that is a can flirt with a number 1. Yes, yeah, they need that. Yeah.
Do you think a healthy Tank Dell was that a legit number 2?
I think he could have been one day. I don't think he was there. No.
Like to me, year one, the combination of Nico and Tank.
Okay.
And now Nico is better. Obviously, I think obviously I'm with you. I think the combination of Nico and Christian Kirk can be on the level of the combination of Nico and Tank Dell. If Christian Kirk is healthy, I mean, this is a guy.
Look, I don't know that. In my opinion, I don't know that Christian Kirk has the ceiling, like the highlight reel ceiling that Tank Dell has. But he will be a good complementary receiver. I'm not saying that they need to go sign DK Metcalf. What I'm saying is the same thing you're saying. Like you just said, that this doesn't take 1st or 2nd round wide receiver out of. It's the same thing. Yeah. I'm with you 100% right there. Like somebody. Like, you can't sign Christian Kirk, especially with the injury history and with the fact that he's a true blue inside receiver, and say, I'm going with Nico and Christian. I'm going to hope that Mechie and Hutch pan out.
No, yeah.
There's got to be another guy in there that's a lock, stock, and barrel starter and potential game changer in this offense.
Yeah, and the draft makes a lot of sense. I
agree with that.
I don't necessarily say they have got to bring in somebody that production-wise that's gonna be better than. I mean, this guy has either had 1,100 yards or flirted with 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
It's past like they need another one that could come in and could be a threat and can give you 700-800 yards to me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Nico is a plain one, right? You got me here. They got a flat plain one in Nico, and then they have a really good. I think production-wise a 2 in Christian Kirk.